State Senator Dan Wolf announces he will not be running for governor. The driver in a fatal accident last week is now being charged. Plus, police arrest two and seize nearly 200 pills in a drug bust last week. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, October 15th, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. State Senator Dan Wolf will not be running for governor. He made the announcement last night. That announcement came less than a week after the Ethics Commission delayed voting on a measure that would have allowed the senator to continue his campaign. At issue for the commission was the contract between Wolf's airline Cape Air and Massport. Wolf says the decision was not an easy one to make.
Much of an idealist as I am, it was really based on the practical reality that the Ethics Commission, who met last week, really did nothing to move my situation in the direction of resolution. And because the process to do a regulatory change takes a couple of months, they really would have had to start that process last week and then go through the public hearings. And I was hoping in the best case by early to mid-December, I would have some light at the end of the tunnel that I could then regroup and re-engage the campaign. But because they really took no action last week, that means it's really not until January at the earliest that they would, possibly clear the field and let me move ahead, which the caucuses are in February, and that's when most of the delegates have committed. And it just, from a fundraising perspective, just from a practical reality of running a campaign, it just became impractical after the Ethics Commission's ruling last night. So it was sad for me. It was hard. It was hard to make the decision to run, and once you put that kind of commitment and energy into something, it's hard to stop. But that really was the only choice.
Wolf is hopeful the Ethics Commission will create an exemption in the near future that would allow him to keep his state Senate seat. Barnstable police are investigating a fatal accident that happened early Friday morning in Marston's Mills. Police Chief Paul McDonald says the accident killed a 22-year-old Barnstable High School graduate and injured two others.
Approximately 1:30 in the morning, Friday morning, we were dispatched to the area of Race Lane, a couple hundred yards west of the Marston's Mills Airport, regarding a motor vehicle crash. When the cruisers arrived, it appeared to be a one vehicle crash off the road. There were three individuals in the car. All three were transported to the hospital. One was mid-flight to Boston, and one individual subsequently died of his injuries. He was identified as Andrew Hurt of Centerville, Mass.
McDonald says speed and alcohol were factors in the accident and that the driver is now facing charges.
The investigation is still continuing. There will be a full accident reconstruction done at the scene. However, yesterday, when determination was made, the operator was cited for multiple motor vehicle violations, motor vehicle homicide, motor vehicle OUI, operating negligent with injury, motor vehicle OUI liquor, operating unregistered motor vehicle, negligent operation, and failure to stay within marked lanes. The operator of the vehicle was identified as Richard Gannon of Marston's Mills.
McDonald says the driver also sustained injuries in the accident.
He had some head injury, and he was transported to Cape Cod Hospital along with a third individual, Mr. Petruzzo, Petruzzo. He was a friend of the other two individuals. He lives in Mashpee, and he was mid-flight up to Boston. He does have some serious injuries, but he is expected to make a full recovery.
Chief McDonald says the accident is a somber reminder to not drink and drive. Police will arrest two individuals in a major drug bust last week. Chief McDonald says the arrests were the result of an ongoing investigation between the DEA, the Sandwich Police Department, and the Barnstable Police Department.
On the 16th, it came to a head. They arrested two individuals, Ms. Cabral and Mr. Gatto. They observed them doing a drug transaction right there on Cameron Road in Marston Mills. They were both stopped immediately, and they found over 200 Oxycontin pills in their possession. As a result of that, another vehicle was stopped by DEA up on Route 3, and a quantity of money was retrieved for him approximately $15,000. And as a result of both of those stops, a search warrant was executed over in Sandwich, where they recovered, again, a number of Oxycontin pills and another $1,400 in cash. All three of these individuals are well known to us. Both Mr. Gatto and Ms. Cabral have been arrested several times for distribution of narcotics by this department, so this is a significant
McDonald
arrest.
says the arrests were a great team effort. Saturday is Drug Take Back Day. All Cape police departments are participating. Chief McDonald says all residents are encouraged to drop off any unwanted medications.
This is one of those events. We have it twice a year where everyone, you do not have to be a resident of the town of Barnstable, but you can go to your local police department or come to the town of Barnstable and drop off any of your unwanted prescription medication. No questions asked. It will ask for any IDs. You come in, drop it off. There'll be a container. You'll be met by a police officer. You'll be guided in and just drop everything in the box, and that will be the end of it. Then at the end of the day, the DEA will pick it up and it will all be disposed of properly. And again, we will take any and all pharmaceutical
Properly
drugs.
disposing of your unwanted prescription medications can help reduce the contamination of groundwater. The Barnstable Police Department will be collecting medications from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday. Hours residents will be able to use Sandy Neck Park are changing along with the season. Park manager Nina Coleman updated the Sandy Neck board last night.
Although the weather continues to be beautiful, we are moving into our winter hours.
Yeah.
Right now the gatehouse is open 9 to 4 every day of the week with extended hours till 8 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. We do have staff there through curfew every night, and the curfew has changed now to 8 p.m. So you can have a fire at sunset and you need to be off the beach by 8 p.m. We did, since our last meeting, we did have the coast sweep, which went very well. Got a lot of stuff off the beach, and was able to collect a bunch of data on the kind of trash that we're finding on the beach, and come from the water, so how that would affect our Cape Cod Bay. And also we are doing the Junior Ranger right now, so through the school system they're trucked in after school. So that's great. That's on Tuesdays. Finally, we are starting the hunts, so people should be aware that we do have a number of hunts that go on through the fall. The pheasant hunt has started. We do stock Sandy Neck with pheasant, and that's going to be Monday through Saturday, no hunting on Sunday. And people should come to the gatehouse if they want to know if there's any hunters out, because the hunters need to sign in.
Right.
So we would be able to provide people with information about how many hunters were out there. But we are doing our pheasant hunt. Duck and goose is going on. A number of other ones, coyote, so forth. But really the pheasant is the big one on Sandy Neck.
During the meeting, Coleman also proposed having a deer hunt this season. That hunt is typically done every other year. Coleman says the hunt helps control the deer population on Sandy Neck.
Again, we do archery and black powder. Archery would be November 25th through the 30th. That was a request from many hunters last year. Last time we did this, which would have been 2011. That's Thanksgiving week, and that's historically a big week for hunting. Big family week. So we're gonna stay with that week. So 6 deer taken during that hunt, and then the primitive firearm proposing it to be the 16th through the 21st until 6 deer are taken. If 6 deer aren't taken during archery hunt, those deer numbers would be added to the primitive firearm hunt. There would be a mandatory safety meeting that would occur for the archery hunt on Tuesday, November 19th at 7 p.m. at the Centerville Recreation Building. And the primitive firearm meeting would be Wednesday, December 11th at 7 p.m. at the Centerville Recreation Building as well. Hunters would come in at that time to those meetings. We would discuss the special hunt, the regulations that are presented to you, the difference between hunting anywhere else in Sandy Neck. We have some real specific things that we do require. And at that time we do a lottery as well to determine which days which hunters could go out. So that we always try to include as many hunters as we can safely.
The Sandy Neck board voted unanimously to support the deer hunt. The proposal will now go to Town Manager Tom Lynch for final approval. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.